Thanks for joining us. I'm Community Relations Supervisor Deanne Conrad, and Superintendent Brian Maher and I are here today talking to you a little bit about July 1. We hear that in legislative context. Any new laws take over July 1. July 1 is also the start of the school year, per se, the fiscal year for us in the Sioux Falls School District. And the first board meeting in July, there is much going on there that is important to the business of a school district. What are some of those things? Well,
you're exactly right. I think when we think about school, I don't think you really think about beginnings July 1. No. Unless you're us, unless you're working during that time. But there are a lot of changes that take place officially, on July 1. We have a number of administrators who take new administrative roles. Mm-hmm. We have a few administrators who are new to the district, and those transitions take place on July 1st. So that movement is taking place here at the beginning of summer. Also, we have board reorganization. In this year, that reorganization will take the form of a board member leaving, Doug Morrison, and a new board member coming on in Cynthia Mickelson. But also from the board perspective, the reorganization of the board and who is the board president going to be, who is the board vice president going to be, what committees will there be this year, and who will sit on those committees on behalf of the district, and a whole lot of really pretty important decisions over time. All of those take place right in those initial days of July. Right, and you don't get to choose the board president or the board vice. They're your boss. One of the things when I talk to the board, I talk to them about there are times where I need to lead and times where I need to remember I'm the hired help. When it comes to board reorganization and who's the president, who's the vice president, I am truly the hired help. I just sit back and watch that process take place. Right. Also important at that first meeting in July is the formal adoption of the budget. We have a tentative adoption in April, just to sort of get our bearings and start preparing things, to make any adjustments, and then the final budget approval in July. Right. That's interesting, because when you think about that formal approval of that budget, that's probably the most important piece of the budget, because it becomes formal at that official point. But we really don't make any decisions at that point other than will we accept it or not. Right. Because the work that goes into that budget has actually taken place for years and really has taken place for 6 to 8 months in earnest prior to that July meeting. So while not a lot of work goes into that specific day or that specific passing of that budget process, a whole lot of work has gone into the budgeting process prior to that particular day. Correct, you bet. And any other changes? I know we have some things that are, every year we have some items in terms of maybe cost for this program or that program, whether it be after school care or costs for other programs that we offer in the district and things like that. That all comes in the formal process also July 1 or the first board meeting in July. Right, and really with the adoption of the budget, because we know what those costs are, and they essentially go into effect with the passing of that budget. So it sounds like a big deal, but it's pretty much a formality, and it's an approval. It is a big deal, but if somebody were to watch that board meeting, it would be formal adoption of the budget, and it probably wouldn't look like there's flags waving or anything. You'd say, my gosh, how can you approve that much money with that little conversation? Right. But what you might forget is that the conversation that has taken place prior to that, including a budget hearing, work sessions, a whole lot of things committees that lead up to that ultimate vote. Right. So we can assure you, when that budget is finalized, there's been a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of hard work that has gone into the preparation of that budget to make sure that we're using tax dollars efficiently. Without a doubt. Wonderful. Thanks for joining us today on Envision.